If you were driving by the Rotary on Neponset Street Monday night, you may have noticed a large police presence. Officers were alerted to an armed robbery that took place during an attempted transaction between a Norwood residence and two Boston residents. For more on the investigation, we go to Chief Brooks.
A local guy tried to sell his cell phone using an app off his current phone. And he arranged with two guys to come down and meet them, and he was going to buy their phone. So he brought cash to the location. It was in a parking lot just off Route 1 that really has nothing to do with the story. And when they realized that he was there and he had the cash, they tried to rob him. In fact, when he resisted, they said they'd kill him if he didn't turn over the money. So he turned over his wallet with a few $100s in it, and then they took off. They were on a yellow moped, two subjects on a yellow moped, and they fled the area. So we got the call, and our officers headed to the area. Now, Officer Brett Baker, who was on his way to another radio call, completely unrelated, was driving down Pleasant Street, and he saw these two subjects on a yellow moped. So the sergeant told him to stick with that, and they handled his other call with other units, and he turned around and he engaged this moped in the pursuit. So it's a moped. It's only going 25 to 28 miles an hour, but it continued all the way down Pleasant Street, across Neponset, and then down onto Route 1, and eventually onto Route 1 southbound, and then back up the ramp to Pendergast Circle. Officer McKinney was on the ramp. He was able to position his car in such a way so that the guy driving the moped just stopped and he surrendered. But his passenger jumped off, and his passenger ran into a wooded area that sits between TE Connectivity, which used to be Telco, and the ramp that comes from Route 1 southbound on the Pendergast. So Officer McKinney jumped right out, went right after the guy, went down the ravine in an attempt to catch him. As it turns out, a couple of state police units were in the area. They were also monitoring what we had going on. And they not only stopped and lent a hand, but they had called for a couple of their canine units. So very quickly on the scene, we had a couple of state police canine units. And because of the involvement of the state police and what was going on, and because they were monitoring our channel, one of the state police air wing ships was in the area. And he was very quickly overhead and was able to give kind of a bird's eye view of this ground search that was going on. So after a period of time, the officers who were searching the area with the state police and with the dogs and so forth came upon the second subject. He was taken into custody. So in the end, we arrested two subjects. They're both from Boston, and they're not from around here. One's 18, one's 20. They're charged with unarmed robbery. They were arraigned at the Dedham District Court.
Chief Brooks credited the hard work and quick response by not only the Norwood police officers and Mass State Police, but also the Westwood Police Department, who helped cover a number of calls and assisted with the perimeter setup. Chief would like to remind anyone making an online purchase that they can use the parking lot of the police station for that transaction.
We have a couple of the visitor spots right in our parking lot that are marked for these kinds of transactions. People don't have to tell us that they're there. They can if they want, but they can really just pull in right to those visitor parking spots and do their transaction right in our parking lot with our security cameras watching them. And that, of course, is a deterrent effect. Somebody who's going to come and rob you is probably not going to do it in the parking lot of a police station. And if they do, we should have them on video. So again, residents are welcome to avail themselves of that service that we offer.